go. Let's go. We can't beat what?
Look at our Chicago, man.
We can't beat who?
Look at them.
We can't beat who?
Chicago, man.
Can't beat top teams in the NBA. Who just got beat? Now where my zoom in at? Who just got beat?
Relax.
Who just got worked out?
Y'all shut it.
Huh?
Y'all acting out of pocket.
I took the wall.
Ringo quiet, ain't he?
To Miami.
Ringo quiet, ain't he?
I took the wall.
Hey.
To Miami.
Ah, don't be a good sport about it. And your left hand shook. You an op. Hey, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. We're going to go straight into the post-game show, so stick around. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us as the Chicago Bulls come away with a huge win over the Miami Heat to start the season. I mean, here's the thing, right? As we're getting into this post-game show, you have to look at this Bulls team being down players, being down key pieces coming into this game, and feel good about what you saw in game one. That's not to say that there's not going to be more issues. That's not to say there's not going to be some things that are going to pop up through the season that are going to cause you a little bit of issue. But I like what we saw out of this Chicago Bulls team in game one. I think defensively, right, they started the game off and you had to look at this team and say, hey, defensively, you're showing me some of the same things that we saw last season. You're showing me some of the same things that we saw last season. But instead, right, they adjustments. They adjusted. They found their way into on the defensive end, and all of a sudden, right, this game opened up. And I was telling y'all when the game was cracking off, you don't got to worry about the Chicago Bulls shooting wise, because we're in a close game right now, and you just have to get to the point where Miami isn't knocking down their shots. That when you're playing defense, when you're closing out, right, like sometimes there's going to be tough shooting percentages, sometimes there's going to be games where guys just get hot, right? This was a game where the Chicago Bulls found their way to be able to, okay, hey, listen, at the end of the day, we've got a hand up in his face, we're making things tough on him, and when it's tough on them, guess what? They weren't able to knock down the shots. When it got down to the nitty-gritty of it, they weren't able to knock down the shots. That's major by the Chicago Bulls. And it's big to start off your season with a win, especially a win versus one of those teams that we think is going to finish as a top team in this Eastern Conference, right? Like that was one of the things that we had issue with last season. The Bulls were dealing with teams in the Eastern Conference that, hey, you could visibly see the difference. They were better than them. They were able to play above them. They were able to elevate their game. Tonight, the Chicago Bulls were able to elevate their game, and I love what we saw out of them. You got to talk about the two best players in this game. Bulls get the win, by the way, 116-108, as you can see on the screen. First off, got to do the read here also. This episode of the postgame show is also brought to you by Bird Dog Whiskey, where the motto is at Bird Dog Whiskey, life is short, so add some flavor. Here's what you have to look at when you come into this game, right? DeMar DeRozan didn't get off to the start you thought he was. He only had 9 points in the game, wasn't taking a lot of shots, was allowing the bench to do a lot of things, and that worked out. Ends up with 37.6 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. When you needed DeMar to be DeMar, DeMar was able to be DeMar. When you needed DeMar to be DeMar, DeMar was able to be DeMar. Bucci giving you consistency at his position, right? 15 points, 17 rebounds, another double-double. By the way, he did pass up. Let me make sure I'm saying the right person here. Hold on. Got to make sure I'm saying the right person. If I can find it here, I like the Bulls win. He did end up passing up in this game. Now I can't find the tweet from the Chicago Bulls here. It's a bad look right there. Who did he pass? Oh, I'm sorry. I just remembered. He did end up passing up Chris Webber in this game, right, at 45th all-time on the rebounding list. So good to see him continuing to move up that list. I think he'll continue to move up that list quite a bit. So I love to see that from this team. And I mean, you're seeing, right, a team that continuity absolutely seems like in game one is working out. And then you got to talk about the leadership and the attack and the greatness that Ayo Dosunmu showed you here in game one. 17 points for Ayo. He was 7 for 14, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 3 for 6 from the three-point line. He was playing aggressive the entire night. The defense was still on display. Absolutely was able to not only display the defense, but was also able to hold Kyle Lowry basically out of this game completely. Kyle Lowry in this game was 2 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 1 for 7 in the game. So Ayo Dosunmu showing yet again why he's able to be such a dominant player on the field. And I love what we're seeing from a team that, listen, at the end of the day, right, you got to be able to fight through a lot of the adversity that comes your way. They probably weren't expecting to come into this game and not have Zach LaVine tonight, right? That comes down from management saying, hey, listen, you guys aren't going to have him tonight. That's a big change on the plate. He was questionable, so maybe it was the end of the season thing, right? But end of practice type thing. But I love what I saw out of DeMar DeRozan, just kind of elevating his game to pick up some of the issues that you thought might have ended up popping up in this game. Looking at the game as a whole, man, Bulls end up shooting pretty well from the field. 44%, not the best that you want to see, but from the three-point line, 36%, 13 for 36. That's not bad. That's not bad, right? Like, because you know from last season that we didn't have 36%. Bulls also got to the free throw line 28 times. That ended up evening it out with Miami's 28. Bulls were 46 rebounds. Bulls dominating the offensive glass 12-8. Steals wise, Bulls defense was on display tonight. The Bulls defense absolutely was on display after that first quarter. You saw them give up 33 points in the first. The Bulls did not give up 33 points the rest of the way. In fact, the Bulls did not give up 30 points in a quarter the rest of the way. Second quarter, 26 points. Third quarter, 27 points. Fourth quarter, 22 points. And that's what you got to do to get it done, man. That's what you have to do to get the job done. The Bulls, the one thing that I'll say, right, that I saw tonight that might have been an issue for the Chicago Bulls was absolutely the second chance points. You were allowing them too many opportunities to get second chance buckets. You were allowing them too many opportunities to get second chance shots at the rim. And there were moments where, hey, you were put in a position that, yeah, I missed out on the rebound and there was a wide open 3, right? And so I think that's something, right, versus your best teams in the NBA, which Miami absolutely could be. But as you continue on, you're going to have some issues if you allow them to get those second chance opportunities. Turnovers in this game, Bulls forced 19 turnovers in the game. Miami only forcing 14. Not too bad for the Chicago Bulls. Points off of those turnovers. Bulls turned that into 17 points. So I like what we saw out of this Bulls team tonight. I feel like the Bulls gave you a really good effort tonight. Offensively, I knew that they were going to be able to come through with that. Defensively, I knew what they were going to be able to do there, man. So I think that, to me, right, like, that's the part that gets me the most excited about this Bulls team is on the defensive end. DeMar DeRozan showed up defensively today, right? Kobe White showed up defensively today. He didn't have the greatest shooting game, but he was able to show up defensively as well. As we get these mugs back in the building, man, you know, it's a little bit of team effort around here, man. Ringo had to go throw up in the bathroom real quick, but I'm just playing. He didn't. But I mean, hey, Ringo, I mean, you are the eye on the enemy outside, right? Like, what did you see tonight that you felt the Bulls were able to do that really took away from your game?
Just forced turnovers and waited us out. I mean, you pretty much said it. Like the whole first half. I mean, we were hot. So, and it was pretty much we kept hitting the threes, kept hitting the threes. You look up and then you say like, hey, we're still on 7. We're still in this. You come back the second half if you're the Bulls, and then I'm looking at Miami. I mean, you just said it, what, 19 turnovers?
Yeah, 19 turnovers for the Miami Heat.
Can't win a game like that.
And I mean, really, just I think it needs to be emphasized, right? Like, we can talk about all the guys that absolutely are that stepped up in different manners, right? But I think the guy that you really have to focus on to me in this game is Nikola Vucevic, because Bam Adebayo absolutely looked like he wasn't himself. Bam Adebayo 5 for 15 tonight, and he's a player that absolutely can come out and kill you. And listen, next time we play him, I guarantee you he's going to be trying to come out way more aggressive. But 5 for 15, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Bucci, for the first time probably in a while, right? I mean, last year he didn't win a lot of them. Won the big man battle over a guy that he ended up losing that battle to a lot last year.
I think what it was too, I mean, if you remember, like the last couple of times we were saying like how Vooch, well not Vooch, but we were saying how Bam was killing Vooch the last couple of times.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell that. All right, relax. But yeah, you can kind of tell he had this game circled a little bit. You know, I'm gonna go out, do what I gotta do. And yeah, I mean, he just took it to him. But I mean, we gotta see. On my side, we gotta see more from Bam. But like I said, man, shout out to the Bulls. They got it done tonight. You got this one, but you know, there'll be others.
There'll be others. Is that what it is? That's the mentality you're taking it is. AD, what'd you see tonight from the Bulls that you liked?
Hey man, like I said, aggression. It's a certain, like, they're not gonna let the other team dictate how they play. And honestly, we've seen a lot of that in the past, where like either we play up or play down to the competition. We're gonna have a level of play. That's what I saw in this game. But we're gonna have a certain level of play and expectation, and certainly like there's a camaraderie amongst teammates where Ayo DeSumo can like go up to DeMar, Drummond, and be like, "Hey man, chill out. I know you ain't get that call, but let's stay focused on the task at hand.
100%.
What's going on in the next play, and let's push and let's defensively do what we need to do." Steals. Crazy steal. I know I said something crazy earlier this year, talking about 10 steals from my man.
10 steals for Alex Caruso, by the way, coming this season.
Hey, watch out, John Stockton be coming for your record. But the team defense, I know we don't look at basketball like, oh, you know, team takeaways, but we had a lot of like diving for the ball. Like, it was a lot of energy.
Oh, everybody being involved in getting the ball away. I know.
Doing their part. Like, everybody's doing their part. It doesn't, like, okay, yeah, that's my man, I'm guarding him, but cool, I'm playing the passing lane. Cool, I'm looking to, you know, either block a shot or get a rebound, or, you know, we didn't see the typical. In the past, we've seen typical. You could probably guess what player filled up what stat on, you know, amongst the team, but it seemed like a very complete team effort today. So I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow.
I'll say this, right?
They play tomorrow too.
No, we play Friday. We play Friday again. I'll say this, right? And I think this is the biggest thing that really stands out to me about this Bulls team. First off, you have to talk about the rotations that Billy Donovan put out there. I mean, I loved Billy Donovan's rotations tonight. I thought he did an excellent job at putting the Chicago Bulls in a position to be successful. And he's very much a coach that, okay, I'm going to put my players in a position where they can make the call themselves to do something, or where they can make the call themselves to be the reason why we went. But like, he put a perfect rotation out there. When you're talking about that lineup that had, or just starting off the game, right? Ayo DeSumo, P. Will, Alex Caruso, Nikola Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, right? Yeah, they got off to a little bit of a slow start, but you knew that the defense was going to pick up, and it did in the second half of that first. It did. And then Dragic coming in, right? I think Dragic, can we finally say, right, that we feel good
Dragic wanted this one
about them as a pickup, right? I mean, Goran Dragic really got it going in the first half, but Dragic did an excellent job to me of really being, really just being aggressive and did a good job passing the ball as well. He finished out the game, I believe, with only 12 points because he missed the free throws there. Let me double check on Dragic's stats here. Goran Dragic, 12 points, only 2 assists, right? But he did, and this is the biggest thing that I talked about with the Bulls. Continuity means not only that I'm going to go into next season with the same pieces that we want to see move in the right direction, but when you add things that accentuate what your team does, You saw that on display tonight with Goran Dragic and with Andre Drummond, bro. With Andre Drummond as well. Andre Drummond tonight, 9 points, 5 rebounds. He was 2 for 7, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, 1 assist. And he had 1 block, 1 steal. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I love what we saw from this Bulls team in tonight's win. I thought they did an excellent job really getting after the Miami Heat and really forcing Miami, right? Like, okay, you want to keep taking those tough 3-point shots? Let's see how many of them you make.
No, that's a fact. I'm not mad at it. I mean, like I said, I feel like when you look at this Bulls team in totality, even with the injury to Lonzo, I'm looking at the team and I'm saying it's not many teams that they can't beat. It's not many teams that they can't beat to me. I mean, if you look at it, if they stay fully healthy or somewhat healthy, I could see that. I could see them going head up with a Boston. Philly, I'm just done with Philly because, like I said,
I don't know if I'm there. Game 1, play 1. We all of a sudden we going up with the team that was in the finals last year.
If the whole thing with Philly was we need to get James Harden healthy so he can do the step back, I'm
old habits die hard.
I'm cool.
I'm actually very interested to see how this team looks against the Boston. Them really don't Philly
don't got a backup for Embiid.
Yeah.
So if I'm them, the way I was playing tonight, I'm walking through Harden.
Hey, I think that's the game plan on him anyway. Is to play physically on him.
Like legit, I would.
But the problem is, you play physically like Marcus Smart do, you end up on the floor. He just missed.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. He shimmied with it and everything. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, to me, that I'm looking at with this Bulls team, especially tonight, and the thing that I want to see them continue to do is they take on Washington. By the way, did Washington get the win over whoever trash team they was playing?
They are up actually on
Orlando,
they're up on the Patriots 103-94.
Yeah, that's a win I expect them to get. The one thing that I want to see the Chicago Bulls really continue with, right, is a aggressiveness on both ends of the floor. And I think you saw it, right, where like tonight the Bulls weren't going to be the team that was going to get pushed around. The Bulls weren't going to be the team that's going to end up sitting there, right, and take all the shots and take all the fouls are coming in. Now we just got to go. And I think the thing is, right, like there were moments, even when the Bulls were down, where they just were, okay, let DeMar do what he's going to do. And DeMar started to cook a little bit, and you like that, right? But I think the thing that made DeMar cooking so much better was Vooch never stopped being able to do what he was able to do. Ayo never stopped being able to do what he was able to do, right? It's about getting your team more involved around DeMar DeRozan being able to knock in 37, or hopefully when Zach LaVine returns, right, a simple like maybe 28, 25-point game, something like that. So I think that that's the thing that I look at with this Bulls team, that I'm like, okay, I feel good about the fact that you did these things in one game. Now can you continue them? And I mean, honestly, right, like the defensive end is everything for me. So for me, right, the fact that they did it on the defensive end fairly consistently, that's the part that really stood out to me from this Bulls team.
And then I think the biggest thing to me with that is the fact that, look, like DeMar, and you pointed it out, like DeMar had a lot of rest. Like a lot of rest that first half. If the Bulls go out and do what they did tonight versus Miami to other teams, and I'm not saying that that's gonna happen every night, but if you can get those others to step up, like Dragic, Ayo, P. Will was a little bit. P. Will was a little bit more aggressive.
P. Will had moments where he was aggressive, but moments where he wasn't.
That second half, that is what I mean when I say, DeMar shouldn't have to drop 36, and if he does drop 36, hey, let him get that rest in the first half so he can go out and do something like that. And I think that that's the biggest thing that they should be encouraged by going into these next games. They're actually going into these next couple, because you're going to need these young guys to step up if you actually going to get to where you got to go to.
I think as excited as I am for this game, right, we do got to talk about the fact that, listen, Paypayl took 6 shots in this game.
12 next game.
I mean, bro, like, this is a game to me that you have to shoot. This is a game to me where you have to be aggressive. And I'll tell you this right now. I said this on Locked On Bulls. I've said this on here. The difference between Paypayl being aggressive is Kawhi Leonard to Otto Porter Jr. And you got to be aggressive. And he just isn't, right? Like, he's not being aggressive. And maybe he never will be. Maybe that's what it's going to come down to. You said what?
Minnesota Andrew Wiggins?
No, because Minnesota Andrew Wiggins still was putting up 19 to 25 points a game by not being aggressive. Like, honestly, right? Like, so, I mean, the thing to me,
and
right?
that's where him not wanting.
He didn't want to be the number one, right? And so, like,
well, his matchup next against the Wizards will be Kuzma, right? I assume
his matchup next game would be Kuzma. But, I mean, listen, he didn't have a crazy matchup tonight. You can't cook Matt Strus. Like, here's the thing. It's about taking the shots. And I see dudes at the end of the bench that are more aggressive than Patrick Williams. That's the problem that comes into me.
Put Marco in.
Marco would be more aggressive than Patrick Williams, right? Legitimately.
Nah, you
right?
Put,
like
you
I'm
put
gonna be right with you. Here's the thing. I get it if you're in the starting lineup with Zach LaVine. You were in the starting lineup and a starting lineup that needed you to be aggressive, and you still weren't aggressive. And now it's on you.
Zach's gonna miss about.
He's probably gonna miss about 15 games this season.
Zach's gonna miss about 15 games. What are you gonna do in that 15 games to show me, like, hey, you actually deserve to be here? Like, I don't think he really fully understands. Like,
no, I think
AK stuck his neck out for him.
I mean, legitimate.
You know the trade packages that they had?
Well, none of them confirmed, but it sounded good.
But I think if a player
confirmed, but
none of them confirmed.
I think if a player takes it to him, like, okay, guarding Strus, okay, cool, I'm standing out on the perimeter. But somebody guarding somebody like a Kyle Kuzma is completely different. Where
Kyle Kuzma's gonna be tougher to guard.
He put up 22. I think it's 22 and 5 tonight.
Yeah, Kyle Kuzma finally figured out his body. Shout out to Kyle Kuzma.
So, like,
I said this. I was like, Kyle Kuzma. I said this. Kyle Kuzma didn't realize what he needed to do being 6'10", and until he played the Bulls last year and he did his first spin move and then laid the ball up. And it was just like,
I was like, wait, that works?
That works? I'm 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan?
This is not.
I'm going to keep using this. You know what I mean? So I think he figured out his body a little bit more, and I like that. And listen, at the end of the day, here's the thing. I'm not one of those Bulls fans that come out here. I'm going to call you out on what you're not doing on the court. I'm never going to want you to suck. You know why? Because the people that want you to suck usually end up looking stupid when all of a sudden, right, you stop sucking and then they're like riding on you. And they, oh my God, that's my guy. I love him. He's always been. No, you didn't. You hated this mug. You didn't want him to be. And I think you end up looking stupid at the end of the day. Yeah. If you wear a Bulls jersey, I want you to be good. I want Cristiano Felicio to be good. I want freaking Kobe White to be good. And I want Patrick Williams to be good. But I'm going to call you out when you're not playing your game. And you know what? Tonight was a night where Patrick Williams' game absolutely could have been used. Tonight was a night where you could have attacked the man on the other side of you and dominated him. You know how I know? Because the 3 times he decided to do it, it literally happened all 3 times. He was just like, you're not big enough to stand in front of me. Get out the way, lay. Right? Like, but it can't be just you doing that when the moment's convenient for you. Sometimes you got to take that shot. Sometimes you have to grab that moment. And Patrick Williams just isn't doing that. And that may not be in him. But I'll tell you what, this is going to be the season to see if that's going to be.
But I mean, at least we know he worked on it. Like, we saw 2 DeMar turnaround fades.
No, his game looks when he plays his game looks better, but he don't play his game.
I'm really trying to understand, like, what is the difference between? Because some tells me he's pulling this off in practice.
Honestly, he might be better.
I don't think so, bro.
He might be better in a half court.
I don't think.
Look at how we played tonight.
I don't think so, bro. Because if he was pulling this off in practice, there wouldn't have been a question mark around whether he was the starting power forward or not.
I think when the game slowed down, his game will become more apparent.
Like,
but with the fast
it's just
break,
mentality. Some people don't have it. Here's the thing, right? As much as people are on Andrew Wiggins nuts now, why is Andrew?
Bro, everybody loves
which is fine. Which is fine. Wiggs playing better was a major piece of that. Why is he better now?
because he didn't want the starting role, but now he's playing up.
Not even the starting role. He didn't want to be. He didn't want to be. He didn't want to be the guy. He didn't want to be the number one.
He didn't want to be the guy.
He didn't want to be like. There's a mentality that comes with being the number one. He didn't want to be the number one.
But you know what though?
And you know why he's cooking now? Because guess what? I'm the number 4.
Hey, but low key, I think. But shout out to him though, because he had to like legit sit KG down and explain to him because KG said it to him. I don't know, bro. You need to be dropping 25. Hey, bro, I like hooping, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not
the same thing.
Like, it's not my. I'm not trying to be that dude. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. And guess what? Sometimes the mentality doesn't link up with you being where you were drafted or whatever it is, which is fine, right? Andrew Wiggins still.
He's great now.
Listen, but he's playing so much looser now. He's playing like he's happy playing basketball.
Right.
And I think that's the thing, right? Like P. Will's out there. I'm not saying he don't look happy playing basketball, but he just looks like he's too scared to unlock whatever's in him.
We know what's in him.
I mean, look, bro. The reason I know
he got the 9 tails in him.
The reason I know what's in him is because he shows it. He gets out there and he's just like, I'm bigger than you. I'm faster than you. I'm gonna get to my spot quicker than you are, and I'm gonna finish it. And this ain't me being off of P. Will. This ain't me being off of, I think that P. Will's gonna be bad. I think this ain't none of that. This is just me saying what I'm seeing on the court. Guess what? You have to be aggressive. In games where Zach LaVine's not there, you have to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If Zach LaVine's there, you're not going to get the opportunity to be aggressive.
I really want to see how the game changes with Zach in it. Like, what will be the game plan, and to kind of see. We will probably look in particularly a little bit closer than the national sports fan, but I think. I want to really start kind of seeing if a pattern develops to see which team will have this type of lineup that we saw tonight, and then the difference between that lineup on Friday versus the Wizards.
Yeah.
Something tells me like that is strategic as well.
For sure.
What Miami did tonight?
Or the lineup the Bulls put out versus Miami and the lineup versus the Wizards, what that would be.
Well, I mean, I think that for the next couple of games you'll see that lineup for the Bulls just because Zach isn't gonna suit up. I
think Zach will suit up and DJ. You'll see more DJ next game too.
Eventually he will. But my whole thing, like, since we've been talking about it before the season started, like I said before, P. Will has to and look, P. Kill was right. P. Will has to do something for them to justify him taking him at number 4, because if he doesn't, Bulls are first round exit. If he does, however, then the sky is the limit. Especially with the way the IO's open, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
I think honestly,
sooner or later, because the thing is, because everything in the playoffs is gonna be matchup based.
It's a perfect storm, I think, especially with IO, because IO clearly has leveled up. Like my man, he's leveled up, and you could see it within one game.
Yeah.
So I think it's a perfect storm for that.
You can see it within one game. Tonight, Ayo Dosunmu dominated Kyle Lowry on the other side. Yeah. Kyle Lowry couldn't figure out where he was going. Dominated the man on the other side. One game. It wasn't, he's going to be this, he's going to make it here, he's going to do it. One game. What was all this work for the offseason for? What was all this work with DeMar for? What was all this work with, remember what was all that for?
Do you like the offseason videos?
No, because they're not truthful.
Yeah, because
they're truthful for the players that make it, but guess what? Patrick Williams is good enough to cook everybody.
That's exactly where I'm at with.
Right, like Patrick Williams is. Patrick Williams is good enough to cook anybody on the court, right? Like if he comes out there and he plays against a regular dude, he's gonna cook that dude. But at the end of the day, Patrick Williams is not good enough to cook NBA talent. That's why I like all the Hoodie Mello videos. Like I'm off all that. Like Muzz be hype on them, bro. They be, oh my God, like Hoodie Mello, Mello still got it, bro. He's cooking out, and I'm like, bro, listen, like. Of course, Melo's going to be 65, still able to cook the rest of us. Melo's going to be one of the most dominant
professional basketball.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. It's like what's his name said? Brian Scalabrine. I'm closer to LeBron than you'll ever be to me.
Yeah, it's a fact.
That's really what it is. So it's just, hey, listen, you got to attack. And guess what? This is not me writing off P. Will, but this was a big night for me because in tonight's game, there was nothing but space and opportunity. And you didn't take the opportunity.
I don't think he got no excuse, bro.
No, there's no excuse in tonight's game. And listen, and here's the thing. I'm the same way that I've always been with all of the players that come through here. Year 3. You don't got to be the player you're going to be in year 3.
You got to show me.
But you got to show me that you're moving towards being that player in year 3. I said the same thing about Kobe White. Said the same thing about Larry Markkinen. Said the same thing about, we didn't get to year 3 with Wendell Carter Jr., but I said the same thing about Wendell Carter Jr. Yeah. Year 3, because by year 3, you've seen what the league in the beginning of the season, right? Or in your rookie year, you don't know what the league's going to bring you. You're going to hit a rookie wall. It's going to happen. Year 2, okay, I'm able to adjust a little bit more. I'm kind of figuring out my game now, knowing what's coming on the other side of this. Year 3, you should be on the trajectory of your team.
Yeah.
And he's not. And he's not.
The thing, like, you got, I mean, DeMar legit shows you every time in practice, when y'all do practice, how to get to your spots, what you supposed to be. I mean, the shot is there. It's like, why? I'm really trying to understand why is he so hesitant.
It'll get there.
Because you're not. I think it will get there. You're not the number 1 option. You're not even the number 2. You're not even the number 3. You are the number 4 option.
You're 4.
You have no excuse.
Yeah, and I think here's the thing at the end of the day, right? And this is what it comes down to. Some players don't pan out. I'm not saying that that's what it's going to be with people. Some players don't pan out.
But Vassell did. So
but here's the thing on the other side of it, right? If they don't pan out, he goes to the bench. He goes to like that doesn't mean he can't be used on this team. That doesn't mean that he can't be used. Like it doesn't mean he's going to be. They already picked up his 4th-year option. We can stop with the whole trade. P. Will all of it. He's gonna be here, and it's game 1 of the season. I'm not freaking out. Shout out to Marvin, said peace out to y'all from Barcelona. Shout out to you, Marvin. Appreciate you for tuning in. We'll be back. But at the end of the day, right, like you have to get yourself going.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. And you know what? Everybody else was able to do that tonight versus a Miami team that absolutely is going to be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference.
It's Tyler Hero and Max Strus. He had no excuse.
Oh, no, 100%. But that's what I'm saying. Ayo Dosunmu looked on the other side of that court and he said tonight, that's Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero. I know you can't stay in front of me. And you know what it is? It's the test. It's the little Ayo did the little jab step test and then blew past Kyle Lowry. He was like, oh, this is going to be a cook show.
Yeah.
Got to the bucket finish.
Took off.
You know what I mean? Like, so I want to see that aggressiveness. And Javonte Green, first game in, or first play in, taking off, get to the bucket, nice pass, lay. Right? So like that, I told y'all, and I'm glad Ayo's showing it here. 17, 6 and 5, I think it was for Ayo tonight. Yep. I told y'all when we get to January, we will be having the conversation. Should Ayo Dosunmu still be the starter?
Yes. I don't even think that's a question. Bro, I need people to understand this. You come out against one of the top defensive teams, because granted it's the first game of the season, but we're gonna be one of the top defensive teams. You come out against one of the top defensive teams in the league.
Yeah.
First start, hometown kid. 17, 6 and 5. Mad efficient too. Mad efficient.
Cooking them. Cooking them.
You said cooking.
Cooking them. Hey, he and then you gotta understand, he was able to, real young player, able to, hey, Kyle Lowry's only 6 foot.
Kyle Lowry's only 6 foot, yeah.
Hey, hold on. We were on Caruso steal watch. He had 2 steals tonight.
Caruso had 2 steals tonight. So a little 8 short of the 10 that DJ Academics thought that we would be getting tonight.
John Stockton, watch out for your record, bud.
For Caruso. I let P. Kid say, let that young bull run. Here's the tough part. Here's the tough part. I think he's a year younger than Lonzo Ball. So, I mean, they both young bulls. It's not like Lonzo's old. He's still young, bro.
I mean, and I'm saying, though, even if you do, I don't want to get too far deep into it, but even if you do have to move off Lonzo, you can get something from Charlotte.
Yeah. I don't think you'll have to move off the line. Here's the thing: you still need a bench point guard, one way or the other, right?
You got going.
Anyway, he has to be easy.
You got going.
Easing him in is
Gordon's going to be a year, right? Here's the thing: at the end of the day,
Gordon's going to be a year.
Gordon's going to be a year, maybe 2.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Nah, man, nah. Gordon.
If Lonzo Ball's back, Goran Dragic isn't on the team.
Nah. I can't give you that.
Lonzo's back. If Lonzo was here at the start of the season, Goran Dragic wouldn't be on the team.
See, part of me is like, nah, he played in Miami. I'm not finna disrespect him, but like, nah, he's just not finna come back and just be like, nah, I'm not finna get no take.
Yeah, nah, bro. Nah,
nah. He getting takes.
I don't know about that one, bro. But hey, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. We'll have the post-game show also posted on the Chicago Bulls Breeze and over on the Breeze podcast page as well. So we appreciate you guys for showing love as you always do. As always, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We will be live again for Friday's game, and I'll also be live for tomorrow I'll also be live tomorrow breaking down what we saw here and breaking down kind of where this Bulls team is at. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again, joined by the squad in the building. Mr. Two Letters, if you knew better, you do better. Say who better? Nobody, bro. And the man formerly known as Stefan the Don, Mr. Ringo J. As always, man, y'all stay safe out there.